Research Center at Norton Audubon Hospital, conducting research for over a decade.
We can't list all the stuff we sell at Tobacco Road. So now, here's Smokey, the singing cowboy.
Oh, baby, baby, say we will never part. Don't ever leave me or you will break my heart. Cling to me always just like a clinging vine. Baby, my baby, please be mine.
Gas and cheap prices on stuff. Tobacco Road, the way to save.
Visit the Kentucky Flea Market this weekend at the Kentucky Fair and Exposition Center. Don't miss one of this nation's largest and finest flea markets featuring over 1,000 booths. And for antique lovers, a special antique section. Shop through literally thousands of items, both old and new, including antiques, glassware, collectibles, jewelry, crafts, books, clothing, and much, much more. Something for everyone. The Kentucky Flea Market is open Friday noon to 7, Saturday 10 to 7, and Sunday 11 to 5. Best of all, admission is absolutely free. A Stewart promotion.
It's back, and it's big. It's the Great American Ford Sales Event. Choose from over 55,000 cars and trucks. Like Explorer, now get $1,000 cash back or 3-9 financing plus $500 cash back. That's $1,000 cash back or 3-9 plus $500 cash back. Or grab Expedition with low 0-9 financing. That's 0-9 in Expedition. Even check out the new Sport Track now with the Great American Ford Sales Event. Hurry to your local Ford dealer today.
Live from News Channel 32, where the news comes first. This is News Channel 32 at 6 with Liz Everman and John Bull.
It's primary election day, but the primary concern in Litchfield is debris in the fields. For a terrible moment today in Grayson County, twisters outnumber voters at some precincts. 3 tornadoes tear apart homes and factories all at once. Factories that make bed frames and furniture, but none of it is tornado-proof. Now on News Channel 32 at 6, live team coverage of an Election Day disaster.
Good evening. First, the good news. No deaths or serious injuries.
The bad news. These twisters trashed homes and smashed some sprawling factories near Litchfield. Now, Litchfield is in Grayson County, about 2 hours south of Louisville. Tim Seymour joins us now live with the tales. Tim.
John, oh well, what can you do? That is what I just heard a gentleman saying, and he surveyed some of the damage here along Highway 62. We're kind of on the southeast side of Litchfield, along the road that runs to Clarkston. I'm standing beside the Burkhead Trucking Company, which has been just obliterated by the high winds. This parking lot right now outside is it's a dumping ground for cinder blocks and glass and broken glass, and you can see damage for a couple hundred yards from where I'm standing. Pieces of roof still wrapped around trees. I saw something interesting a couple of minutes ago, a steel girder which was wrapped around a tree as if it was an aluminum can. I talked with Willetta Mattingly, who lives here. She said she was watching News Channel 32, heard the warnings, and quickly grabbed a quill and jumped under her stairway. She says then she heard the roar like a railroad train coming through. It's what we hear all the time, but she says that's exactly what she heard. The next thing she knows, she comes outside, devastation all around her. Now, the latest number that I've been given by Litchfield Police is 8 minor injuries here. That police officer also told me that as far as he knows, no one here is missing, but there is a lot of damage surveying yet to be done here in Litchfield. We'll keep you up to date throughout the newscast. John and Liz, back to you.
Tim, question for you. One of the things that I always marvel at with these is sometimes you can see a clear path of destruction, sometimes a skipping around thing. It looks to me down in Grayson County like it just skipped around, missed some areas.
John, I can't really tell, to be honest with you, because I am literally standing in one of those paths of destruction. It may have indeed skipped through this county, but I am standing in the middle of a 100-yard wide path of destruction where it definitely was touching the ground, where something was definitely touching the ground, because practically everything in its path was leveled.
What do you know about power outages and things like that there at services to the area, Tim?
Liz, good question. I'm standing right in the middle of a bunch of GTE trucks. The utility crews are out in force, literally an army of utility crews out here right now. I don't know about power. I know that it's definitely out along this stretch of Highway 62 on the kind of southeast end of Litchfield as you drive toward Clarkston. No one here has power because the power poles have simply been snapped in half.
No deaths and no serious injuries we're hearing right now, Tim. Yet, as I look at the disaster from News Chopper 32, I see roofs collapsed all the way down. Looks like things happened there where somebody could not have gotten out of unless there had been good warning. You say the warning was good?
Now, the lady that I spoke with, Willetta Mattingly, said that she heard the warning on News Channel 32 and ran underneath her stairway. But she tells me one of the last things she saw before she ran for cover was as she looked out her window, she saw one of her neighbors looking out of the side windows, one of the side windows of his mobile home. She came back out later. That mobile home was simply gone. That gentleman has been taken away in an ambulance. I don't know how serious his injuries are, but apparently there wasn't enough warning for him. Again, police still are saying that all of the injuries are minor. At least that's the latest report we have.
Okay, thank you very much. Tim Seymour reporting live from Litchfield. Incredible damage there.
Yeah, well, will there be a calm after the storm now?
Well, Jay Cardosi standing by live right now to let us know. Jay?
All right, Liz, John, thanks so much. We do have a calm going on right now in spots, but there's still a threat of additional severe weather as the evening hours wear on, as a tornado watch remains in effect from Louisville and points west and south until 11 o'clock tonight. Take a look at what happened so far today. Just a few of the bigger reports coming into the Super Doppler 32 Weather Center. Of course, that devastating tornado with extensive damage in Grayson County and Litchfield. In Hardinsburg, this was actually the same cell that kicked off that tornado. Baseball-sized hail was reported, breaking out lots of windows in cars and also homes. In E-Town, just about an hour and a half ago, we had a report of 3/4-inch hail. And in Campbellsville, we had a line of severe storms move on through, and that blew the roofs off homes, uprooted trees, down power lines. That cell actually kicked off a tornado a little bit farther south in Adair County. So certainly a very busy afternoon as far as severe weather goes. Right now, live Super Doppler 32 radar continues to show strong thunderstorms. These are not severe at this point in time, but we do have strong thunderstorms around Springfield, also in the Lebanon area. These are tracking off towards the south and also the southeast. Lots of lightning, heavy rainfall, and gusty winds with these storms. But if you look real close, despite having wave after wave of strong and severe storms, more are developing and developing in the same areas, close to E-Town, up in southern portions of Harrison County, as it looks like wave number 4 of strong, potentially severe thunderstorm develops and heads off to the south and also the southeast. All right, let me show you Viper first strike alert. First of all, I want to zoom in on the storm that is still producing a possible tornado down along the Kentucky-Tennessee border. Viper first strike alert is showing strong rotation in that storm. This is Russell County, just off to the southwest of Somerset. That storm is again moving off towards the south and also the southeast. But again, additional storms continue to fire up farther off to the north and northwest. So John and Liz, it looks like there is still a potential for severe weather over the next few hours to come, with the best potential just west and south of Louisville, unfortunately, in the areas that were hardest hit earlier today. We'll take a complete look at your forecast, and things will start to quiet down. I promise you that. We'll take a look at that coming up here in just a little bit. Guys, let's send it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Jay. It's been a wild afternoon. And after the tornado, News Chopper 32 was the first news crew on the scene.
Yeah, let's go back up live now to Chopper 32 pilot Bill DeReamer for the latest. Bill, what do you see now?
John and Liz, what you're looking at here is an area just to the east of that industrial park that we were telling you that was devastated. What you're looking at there is a home that is totally flattened. This is one area that is just on the east side of the industrial area. It's the last visible damage that we can see from that tornado. So it's almost like it hit the industrial area, jumped over the road, hit the area where Tim Seymour was talking about, and then got into this neighborhood. You look at that house there, totally wiped out. Now, just up to the left, there is a house that is a 2-story house. As we slide over here, and you're going to see this house right there. First floor intact, second floor totally gone. You can see a line of debris that goes off to the left, and this is the direction that the tornado was going in. So the tornado was producing some very strong winds that went into this small residential area here and totally flattened these homes. That's the scene from up here in News Chopper 32, Litchfield, Kentucky.
Well, here's what gets me, though. Go back to that first home you showed that was flattened. There's a tin shed sitting there perfectly.
Well,
look at that.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? And the house there is just, you can see the guy walking up. I guess he's surveying, thankful that he's got something left. But you look at the rest of this house, and there's just, as you can see from our shot there, people trying, I would assume, trying to salvage whatever they could out of this heap of debris and wood. There's just literally nothing left of this house just east of Litchfield.
And also just to the left of the shed, I believe I saw a boat sitting right out in the middle of that yard.
Well, look at the position of that car there. It looks like the tornado must have picked up that car and moved that from perhaps the driveway and pushed it over there to that position it's in. So just incredible scene from up here in News Chopper 32. That's the pictures
Certainly
right
is.
now.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bill. Well, in other news now, Kentucky's primary election's been upstaged by Mother Nature before. On a May election night 4 years ago, a tornado devastated Bullitt County. The twister destroyed hundreds of homes, causing millions of dollars in damage. It moved across 30 miles of Jefferson, Bullitt, and Spencer County. Fortunately, no lives were lost. So, what if they held an election and nobody came? That's almost the case today.
That's right. The polls closed just minutes ago in the eastern part of the state for Kentucky's primary election. While the turnout won't be a record low, more people stayed home than voted. State Capitol reporter Chris Gilligan has details from Frankfort. Chris?
Well, Liz, in politics, there's a saying that goes, vote early, vote often. And while that may be illegal, some people think today's voter turnout number should be a crime as well. Experts predict about 15% of the registered voters will go to the polls today. And there are plenty of reasons why the voter turnout is so low. There was plenty of time for poll workers to relax or read a good book. Most voters stayed home.
To tell you the truth, I didn't know that today was the day you're supposed to vote.
Some experts say voter apathy is a national epidemic, saying politics is now big business, and kids see that their parents don't care, and add to that attack ads, and you've got low turnout.
Where the people going to the polls feel like they're choosing between the lesser of two evils because both candidates have been cast in such negative lights.
Some argue low turnout means things are good and people have no complaints, but many folks just don't care.
Well, it just seemed like that I wasn't interested in the races they have now. I probably will be more interested in the fall races, probably.
Experts agree. Some voters hope candidates get out and meet the voters, though, and do more than just use street signs and ads.
There's that guy that drives the truck around town with the big Richards on the back of it.
But you don't know anything about it?
He's got a truck and a big sign. Why would I vote for that?
Woo-wee!
You know?
On the other hand, some diehards say they never miss a chance to vote.
Well, I just felt like it was my duty. I had to pick somebody, and I just picked one, voted for him.
Because it's everybody's civic responsibility, whether they like it or not.
That's about the only right I got left. They about took all the rest of them away from me.
Now, it is a presidential election year, and that should help the voter turnout, even though both parties' primaries have already been decided. And there are some good local races. For example, voter turnout in parts of eastern Kentucky and here in Frankfort could be as high as 50%. Now, speaking of the Capitol, did you know that state workers get off of work for 4 hours paid to go vote? And Governor Paul Patton is out of the country, but his staff tells me that the governor and his wife voted by absentee ballot before heading to a business trip in Japan. Now, keep it tuned to News Channel 32 here at 11 for Night Beat, when we will have complete coverage and wrap up all the day's elections, all the elections that are important to you, right here on News Channel 32 at 11. Reporting live in Frankfort for now, I'm Chris Gilligan. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, I did know that, but I didn't know it takes you 4 hours to vote.
Well,
I do know
that's
they get
true.
4 hours off paid to vote.
That's not bad.
No. Well, when you think of wealth, the filthy rich, do you think of Florida or New York? When we return, we'll show you two of the richest communities in the country, and they're a lot closer than you might think.
And we still have strong, even severe thunderstorms well south and southeast of Louisville. Viper first strike alert is showing the most intense thunderstorms now down along the Kentucky-Tennessee border. That's a possible tornado-producing storm. Others are once again forming farther northwest. The complete forecast and more specific tonight's forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
The news is sponsored in part by Churchill Downs. Experience racing and exciting events through July 9th.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up, throw my hands up, throw my head back. Come on now, wait a minute. You know you make me wanna.
Churchill Downs kicks off its first ever Family Fun Days this Sunday and Monday. Enjoy tons of activities and register to win a trip to Disney World. Gates open 11:30 a.m.
The only thing that comes close to the thrill of driving a new Dodge is the fun of saving on one. Now do both during the Dodge Drive into Summer event, where you can reduce your down payment on 2000 Rams with this